Today starts early. It's 8 a.m. and we're on the way to the doctor appointment. The doctor that will coordinate Blondie's radiation treatment. So it's a necessary evil at this point. We have to get there by 9. It's about 45 minutes away. Nice and relaxed morning with the necessary evil appointment. Another doctor, another appointment, another treatment. Does this ever end for Blondie? I hope it does soon. I hope this is the last thing, really. It looks like it could be the last thing if everything goes well. So, fingers crossed again. Here we go.
Do you need anything? No?
Busted belly empty. Oh.
Well, the good thing that came out of this morning is we had breakfast at Whole Foods and I had a lot of greens. So I feel completely rejuvenated for another day of work that's coming next.
Bro.
Something is going on today with the world. Well, with Northeast Maryland, something's going on.
And Bear, Delaware.
Schools on lockdown, shooting at a local Wawa with a deadly consequences. Someone was shot to
A
death.
police officer.
And then there's some crazy stuff right ahead of us on the road, which is in the same area. What is happening today? Is there a bizarre
Mercury's in retrograde.
yeah, like
Watch out.
star constellation happening, star setup? You know what I really don't like, guys? Days that kinda... Wait, I don't see my audio controls. I know I'm not making any more audio mistakes, that I know. I really don't like days that kinda just slip away from you and you haven't achieved what you set out to do in the morning. I mean, we did go to the doctor and that visit went longer than anticipated. Then we had just a few errands to run that didn't seem like much. We went to Whole Foods for a late breakfast. Then we had to hit post office, a bank, a few other places, and all of a sudden we came back home at 3 p.m. Then I really had to work on some videos. And right now it's 6:30. The day just disappeared. I don't like days like that because it feels like we did a lot of small stuff but nothing really significant, and that kind of doesn't make me feel good. Anyway, on today's vlog I wanted to roll back to a few days ago when I was testing myself for creativity. I never really posted the entire test that I did to myself, and I think it's worth mentioning. I just think it was interesting, and I think if any of you want to apply that test to themselves, I encourage you to do so, because it is a little bit revealing about your own personality, and maybe it will let you find out something about yourself that you didn't know before. Here's David M. working on self-improvement. Here we go. Welcome to the David M's afternoon studio. As you guys can see, it's a beautiful day here in Northeast Maryland, so I'm taking this opportunity to occupy the outside location and talk to you directly about creativity. The inspiration for today's episode comes from this magazine that published a whole issue about creative mind and the science behind creativity. And on page 33 you can find a test that I'm going to apply to myself right now and see how I score, because I definitely claim to be a creative person. So now we're going to apply some science to my own claims and see how I measure up. The test is basically answers to 11 questions, and then there's a scoring method described below. And I hope some of you who are also calling yourselves creative types will have fun watching this, and maybe you can answer these questions for yourself and then comment or compare. A lot of noise pollution all around me. Don't pay attention, guys. This is a creative environment. It's definitely creative vocally. Alright, without further delay, here we go. Question number 1. Do you often have ideas without knowing where they came from? I have to say yes. And I'm sure it happened to many of you where you're in the middle of the shower and all of a sudden the light bulb goes off and you're like, whoa, I better write this down as soon as I come out of this shower or I'm gonna forget. Or you're just driving a car, seemingly thinking about nothing, and all of a sudden a solution to this problem that you were thinking about so hard last week comes to you. Does this happen to you guys? Because it happens to me quite a lot. Especially if it's a creative project, like you're trying to write something or create a story or a narrative for something else, and you're concentrating so hard on the problem, and then the actual answer comes to you when you start doing something completely else, totally unrelated to the problem you were working on. This happens to me a lot. Do you consider yourself a highly logical person? I have to say yes. I want to think of myself as a logical person because I like logic. I think logic is sometimes the only way to have sort of a system of checks and balances for yourself. Because if A happened, then you should do B, and then depending on how B goes, you should do or do not C, and so on and so forth. On the other hand, I have to say, I do allow my feelings to govern my choices in life sometimes. Because sometimes logic is not enough, or sometimes logic tells you to go one way, but then when you really look inside yourself and answer how you feel about something, you decide to go the other way. Do you often think or speak using metaphors? Yes, absolutely. I love sayings and I love metaphors and I love hidden meaning and ambiguous sentences. Actually, me and Blani do that a lot. If you watch this vlog, I think you can find a few examples here and there. Do you have a broad range of interests? Absolutely. Most of the time I actually like myself liking so many different things that there isn't enough time in a lifetime to do probably even half of them. Do you have trouble spending time alone without turning on the TV or other electronic devices? Let's see.
Oh. Bro.
No problem at all. Honestly, I really like sitting there and just looking at the sky sometimes. That's actually when inspiration happens. Believe me, when you clear your mind and just try to meditate, you discover things about yourself and things just come to you that you weren't expecting to be there. It's a fascinating process. If you guys haven't tried meditating ever in your life, please do try so. It's really cool. Do you believe in telepathic communication? I do believe in it. I believe that especially when there's a deep emotional connection between people, they are able to communicate without words or without even seeing or hearing each other or being anywhere near each other. Have you ever felt the presence of someone in the room with you when you knew you were alone? Like Batman? I did have a few weird moments when I was a kid, but I'm not gonna talk about that. Nothing major, don't worry. Do you believe that your dreams may sometimes be previews of future events? Yes, it happens to me, and it didn't happen to me in any super substantial way, but I did know. Go somewhere else. It didn't happen to me in any serious way, but I did know people in my past who had scary, absolutely scary moments when they woke up from a dream, told a story, and there you go, a few days later it was happening. Do you believe that certain events or objects are signs that may have been provided to help you make important decisions? Judging by what I've already said in this episode, you guys may think my answer to this question is yes, but I actually don't believe so. And this is because I'm a big believer we are shaping our own destiny. Our fate depends on what we do and on our own choices. Whether these choices are driven by logic or feelings, we are the masters of our own fate and destiny. Except, of course, cases... yes, there is some stuff that we can't help, like cancer. But then you could debate for a long time, which is also an overarching message of this entire channel, where cancer really comes from. I do believe that we as humans shape our own destiny of this entire planet. And the choices we're making right now are pretty scary, but that's another subject for a whole different vlog. Certain events or objects may be there to help me make important decisions. I believe those are coincidences. And when you are trying to make a decision, or a decision has already shaped in your head and you're not even aware of it yet, you tend to pay more attention to different objects and occurrences in your life that simply reinforce the decision you already made or you want to make. And then on any different day, when you're not trying to make any important decisions, these same objects or happenings may be around you and you just won't pay attention to them, or you won't interpret them in a way that supports your own theory. I hope that makes sense. Do you believe there may be forces at work in the world that cannot be detected with scientific instruments? Absolutely yes. At some point we didn't realize there were atoms and electrons, right? At some points we didn't realize there were omega-3 fatty acids. So there's definitely forces at play in this world that we still cannot detect with instruments that are available to us today. And I also believe we cannot possibly tell how many different levers or layers of different forces to discover still are in front of us. The last question of the test is, do you often feel like a square peg in a round hole? No. I'm absolutely happy with the choices I've made so far in my life. I'm happy where I am right now. I'm happy that I have this creative opportunity to talk to you guys on a daily basis and create this show. My result of that test was that I'm a creative eccentric. Basically what that means is that I'm capable of out-of-the-box thinking. Happy about that. I'm supposed to have a high IQ. Is there a person in the world who would like to think they don't have a high IQ? And sometimes I'm prone to odd behaviors, especially when it comes to solving tasks. In any case, this was a very interesting test, and if you guys would like to find out more about yourselves, please send me your answers and let's open a dialogue here. Well, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna prepare for another live video that we are doing tonight. I'm pointing that direction because that's where our studio is located, our very schizo-eccentric creative studio. For now, this is all for the vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so you can stay updated about everything we post. We'll come back tomorrow. Good night. I think it may be fun for you creative types out there to watch this and maybe apply these questions to yourself as well. Hey, shut up! All these dogs barking around.